A very good evening to all of you, and my apologies for the slight delay in our Facebook Live session. It is my great privilege, pleasure and honor to be with all of you once again for our weekly Facebook Live sessions. I am very grateful that all of you are joining us on a very regular basis. We are trying to see how we can transform our lives. We are trying to see how we can transform and touch the lives of others. We are trying to see how we can transform the kind of situation that we are living in the world today in terms of the ecology, the environment. How can we live as sensitive individuals, as sensitive human beings, making a difference to ourselves, to others, to the environment, to ecology, truly speaking, leading responsible lives. The very purpose of making all of these videos, the very purpose of coming live and having all of these discussions is to lead responsible lives. And therefore, I really want to express my gratitude to all of you for joining us and making this community very strong, this online community where we can try and make a difference in the way we live and in the world around us. Vidyapati ji, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Divya, very glad you are here. Amrit, thank you very much for your compliment. Kapil, very glad that you've joined us as well. Mimi, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Ani, thank you for joining us all the way from northeast of India. Devasmita, thank you. Ravi, very grateful for that compliment. Thank you for your affection and love. Amrit, thank you for that compliment again. Yogesh ji, thank you very much for joining us. Sinchan, yes, I really love to see you in Kolkata next week. Amol, thank you for joining us. Lavish, very glad to have you. Mahesh, Gaurav, Soumya, Sarthak, I'm really very grateful that you have joined us this evening. In the year 1969, one morning in a very small village of Odisha, a 4-year-old boy got up at 5 o'clock by the sound, the wails and cries of everyone in the family. His mother was wailing and crying loudly. The neighbors had gathered there. As the 4-year-old boy got up, he did not know what was happening around him. And then someone told him that his father was dead. The 4-year-old boy did not even understand and know what the word death meant, to say nothing of what real death was. As he was just trying to figure out what was happening, the entire family was in pain. The father was a small worker in the small village of Odisha in a factory. Now the mother was a widow, 7 siblings. The youngest was 1 month old and the oldest sibling 17 years old. This boy, at 4 years of age, knew one thing. I don't know how much I can do to support my mother. I can only use my hands to wipe her tears, and I can use my lap to support some of my younger siblings. Apart from just giving emotional support, as the boy grew up, even at the tender age of 4 or 5, this boy started doing some odd jobs, some odd menial jobs, simply to see if he could support his family. And as he grew up, he decided, I'm not just going to provide emotional and financial support from whatever I get for my family, but I have to make sure that I take my studies, my education very seriously, make my family proud, make my deceased father proud, and make sure that my family actually gets what they deserve. But in seeing all the pain that his family went through, at times the family did not have 1 square meal for 2 to 3 days. 7 children, the widowed mother, 2 days, nothing to eat. He saw so much pain. He developed empathy for all those who were in pain as well. As he grew up, in the year 1987, he finished his master's in chemistry and started teaching chemistry in a university as a professor. But as he was teaching, he started using money from his salary not simply to support his family members, but also to support other friends, other people who were in need, to see how he could alleviate their pain. Because he knew what pain meant, he could empathize with the pain of others. A lady who has not gone through labor pain can never empathize with another who is actually going through labor pain. Empathy is the art of feeling for the pain of others. Because he had gone through it, he could have that empathy, which is why he started helping others even whilst he was doing his job as a professor. In the year 1992, with merely 5,000 rupees in his hand, he decided to start an educational institution in a small little apartment in Odisha with 5,000 rupees, which is less than $100 today. This gentleman started these two institutions. Kalinga Institute of Technology, which was to give technical education, and then he started Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, today commonly known as KISS. The very purpose of starting the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences was to support the children of the different tribes of Odisha, those who were in pain, those who were underprivileged, those who could not afford an education, those who deserved the right to have an education. He decided to provide them free education, free boarding, free food from kindergarten onwards. He started this endeavor with just a couple of students. And last year, I went to the Kalinga Institute of Technology and the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, and I met this gentleman there. Today, the Kalinga Institution of Social Sciences has 27,000 kids from underprivileged backgrounds. They are there, everything provided for, from kindergarten to post-graduation, vocational training provided as well. Apart from the KIIT or the Kalinga Institute of Information Technology, he started the Kalinga International School, he started several other educational institutions, primarily to give back. Apart from that, he knew that all those who helped him in time of need, he was grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important aspects and functions of good memory is to remember the good that people have done to us. Those who have been by our side, those who have given us that necessary help when we were in pain, we were in time of need. When we remember those things, gratitude surges up in our consciousness, in our heart. And then when we are grateful, we want to give back, we want to reciprocate. This gentleman not only serves 27,000 plus children from the underprivileged backgrounds of the villages of Odisha, taking care of them completely, but he also started working for those who helped him in times of need. That little village from where he came, he transformed it into a smart village. A great devotee of God, Lord Jagannath, a great devotee of Hanuman, decided that I'll remain bachelor through my entire life, just giving my focused, dedicated energy to serve and to contribute. Living in a one bedroom apartment, doesn't even have an office with the best infrastructure of his institutions, sits under a tree. This man never questioned, why is this happening with me? Why did my father die? Why was I born in abject poverty? Why are all these situations that are painful coming to me? This man did not ask that question why. Many times when wrong happens to us, many times when problems happen to us, many times when difficult situations come to us, we constantly keep asking that question why. To that question why, many times there are no answers or there are no satisfactory answers, because apart from all what we have done now, there are several other things, factors which are beyond our access. This gentleman did not ask the question, why is this happening to me? This gentleman asked the question, how can I deal with it? And how can I help others deal with it? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Dr. Achyut Samant, the founder of Kalinga Institute of Technology, the founder of Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, the founder of Kalinga International School, the founder of Kalinga Institute of Medical Sciences, a member of parliament today, contributing, giving, sharing, did not get trapped into that question, why? But decided to follow the answer to the question, how to deal with it. He utilized pain to grow. He transformed his pain into a purpose. And today, thousands and thousands of people are beneficiaries to his grit, to his determination, to the result of transforming his pain into purpose. A little girl born to a South Indian family, an amazing little girl, intelligent, talented. When she was about 8 years old, she decided I should serve others. And she started teaching dance to mentally challenged kids. At the age of 12, she had already started a small school in in slums and in dwellings where underprivileged lived. Very unfortunately, at the age of 15, in her teens, 7 guys brutally raped her. They made her the victim of their bestial appetite. Unfortunately, even in the world today, there are so many who do not care, who don't have any sensitivity towards the need, the feeling, the dignity of others, towards the rights of others. All they care about is their own pleasures. All they care about is exploiting others for their own selfish purposes. This 15-year-old was so brutally raped by these 7 men. At the age of 40, when she gave her TED talk, this lady, now a lady, said that I cannot really remember the details of what had happened to me then, the details of the rape and the exact thing that happened, but I can still at 40 remember and feel the anger in my mind, the anger in my heart. I was angry then, I'm angry today, and that feeling of anger, I have to do something with it. This lady did not get trapped into the question why. This lady decided to answer the question how to deal with it. Of course, I'm not saying we shouldn't deal with it. If somebody is raped, there is such a great need for social justice. There is such a great need to punish those criminals, those perpetrators of crime who play with the lives of young girls and even young teenage girls. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, unless social justice is brought and proper justice is delivered and administrated, these kind of unscrupulous elements always remain in society. This girl was a testimonial to that fact. But yes, when we go through pain, we can either be consumed by pain or we can use that pain to transform it into a purpose for our growth. And a step ahead, we can utilize that pain to transform it, not just for our growth, but to contribute to the lives of others. This 40-year-old lady today has rescued 3,200 girls from the age of 3 to the age of 40. Some of those raped, some of those abused by family members, some of those being sold in human trafficking, victims of sexual abuse. And like I said, because of this bestial appetite, how people treat these girls, my God. This lady, who gave this TED talk, it's online, you should watch it. Sunita Krishnan started an NGO called Prajwala only to turn her pain into purpose. She had been raped at the age of 15 and she could have constantly asked that question why. And I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm not saying, who am I to sit here and theorize and sermonize? When a person goes through that pain, I'm not sure if I can empathize yet. Yes, we all have options. But she chose the option to grow. She chose the option to turn her pain into purpose. She started Prajwala to help all of these girls who are victims. 3,200 girls, victims of rape, sexual abuse, children of prostitutes, and has given them a position in society in mainstream. She's given them dignity. Many of them educated now. Some of them, of course, educated in their own ways, got some technical education. Some of them serving as welders, some of them serving as masons in construction companies. As Sunita Krishnan spoke at the TED Talk, she said, my greatest challenge is not to raise funds. Greatest challenge is not to go and rescue these girls. We have a whole setup and structure to do that. My greatest challenge is that these children are not accepted by the mainstream. They're not given that dignified treatment by the mainstream. Ladies and gentlemen, when I heard that talk, she had such a sense of appeal in her voice. That these children also need to be accepted. They're rescued, they're educated, they're trained, they have a dignified life. They need to be accepted and treated with respect. She has been assaulted 14 times, violent assaults because of the work she's doing. And she's lost her hearing in the right ear. One of her people who works with her was killed because of doing this work. But this lady keeps going on with grit and determination. If Dr. Achyut Samant had a situation which came because of the death of his father and he turned it from pain to purpose, Sunita Krishnan also had the situation which came because of her molestation by these brutal beasts, and she turned her pain into purpose. And I remember on the International Women's Day, I told all of you the story of Sindhutai Sapkar. If you haven't heard, it's still on our Facebook page. An incredible story of a lady who was rejected by her husband, how she turned her pain into purpose by starting a home for abandoned children, and has rescued so many abandoned children, given them a purpose to live. So many of them educated lawyers, doctors, engineers today have found their place in the mainstream society. And when Sindhutai Sapkar speaks, she speaks Marathi most of the times. She says in Marathi, Vedanan madnach Ved nirman hoto. Ved means to know, knowledge. And in the Eastern culture, Ved means books of knowledge, spiritual books of knowledge. Vedana means pain. वेदनाओं से वेद निर्माण होता है. From pain comes knowledge. From pain comes purpose. Whether it's Dr. Achyut Samant who turned his pain into purpose, whether it's Sunita Krishnan who turned her pain into purpose, whether it is Sindhutai Sapkar who turned her pain into purpose, it is a choice that all of us will have to make at different points of time in our lives. We will have a choice to either be consumed by the pain we are going through, to complain, to grumble, to cry, to get consumed by it, or to transform that pain for our growth, for our evolution, for our inward journey, for our purpose, so that we can contribute, we can be of value, we can alleviate the pain and the suffering in the lives of so many others. And we may not be able to be a Dr. Achyut Samant. No, we can't. Maybe some of you can. We may not be able to do things like Sunita Krishnan. We may not be able to do things like Sindhutai Sapkar. But we can all do something. We can all grow. And we can all do something in the life of someone else, ladies and gentlemen. On a scale of 1 to 10, if there's something that's bothering you in your life, there is some pain in your life caused by some situation, whatever it might be, ask yourself this question. Will you be consumed by that pain, crying, being victims of depression, and being victims of mental agony and anguish because of that situation? Or will you utilize that pain to grow, to serve, to contribute, to add value, and to help someone find his or her place in society? In fact, when we transform that pain, not only do they benefit, but we benefit, because we come out of our self-absorption. And once we come out of our self-absorption, automatically our pain slowly starts going down. Others' pain becomes our pain. Arthur Ashe, the famous tennis player, in the year 1983, he contracted a terminal disease. And thousands of fans all over the world, one of his fans wrote him a letter and said, Arthur, you have this terminal disease with very less time to live now. You have won tennis championships, Wimbledon championships several times. You are a man of God. Why did God do this to you? why did God give you this terminal disease? Arthur Ashe gave a very revealing reply. He said, every year in the world, about 50 million children start playing tennis. Out of the 50 million children who start playing tennis, about 5 million actually learn tennis. Out of the 5 million who actually learn tennis, 500,000 learn professional tennis. Out of the 500,000 who learn professional tennis, about 50,000 reach the circuit. Out of the 50,000 who reach the circuit, about 5,000 come to the Grand Slam. Out of the 5,000 who come to the Grand Slam, 50 come to Wimbledon. And out of the 50 who come to Wimbledon, 4 come to the semi-finals. And out of the 4 who come to the semi-finals, 2 come to the finals. And out of the 2 who come to the finals, 1 holds the trophy, the cup of victory. He said, and many times when I held that cup in my hand, that one person out of the 50 million who started playing tennis, I never asked that question to God, God, why me? Why is this wonderful thing happening to me? Why is this Wimbledon trophy coming to me? If I never ask that question to God, why me? I don't think I can ask that question to God, why me today when this particular disease comes to me? Ladies and gentlemen, great people are not those who don't have pain in their lives. The nature of this world is pain. As much as we might want to avoid it, from top to bottom, everybody has their fair share of pain. And we cannot avoid it. If we enter into the waters, we are going to get wet. If you enter into a coal mine, your clothes are going to have some coal powder on your body. So if we live in this world, we are going to have our fair share of pain. You can decide on the scale of 1 to 10 what it is and what is that exact situation for you. So it's not that great people don't have that pain. Everybody has their share of pain. The question is, what do we do with that pain? Great people are those who transform their pain into a purpose. In a small way or a big way, we can transform our pain for our individual growth and eventually into a purpose to help, serve and contribute. And when I talk about purpose, it doesn't mean that we are going to start NGOs. If we can, great. But we can be a part of those incredible missions that are started by people to bring that hope in the lives of many. Which is why I always say pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. What happens to us? Many times we can't do anything about it, but what we do with it is in our control. Like we've discussed last week as well. What we do with it is in our control, and therefore suffering is optional. Let us find that sense of fulfillment, meaning and joy by transforming our pain into a purpose. Thank you very, very much, all of you, for joining us this evening. Shri Parna, thank you for joining us. Dinesh ji, very, very grateful. Thank you. Pooja, thank you for the compliment. Alok, very grateful that you follow us. I'm so happy that all of you are taking your time out, watching these videos and trying to transform your lives in whatever way you can. Drupati ji, thank you very much for that comment that you learn from your pain. Pooja, thank you. Harry, I'm very, very grateful that you've joined as well. Harry John, thank you very much for your kind compliments. Shumki, Reema, Prashant, Sanjeev, Ranjit, thank you so much. I cannot actually express in words how much I appreciate all of your time, how much I appreciate all of you and all of your support. Let's keep meeting regularly, discussing these important, pertinent topics, issues, principles, philosophy, and let's see how we can change our lives and the lives of others. Shirish, Anju, Rajesh, thank you very much for being with us. Tajinder, thank you very much. Have a great evening, all of you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.